Hey, it's been a while since I have recorded for YouTube, and so I figured while I'm making dinner, I would put the video on and give you some updates on what's going on. I'm making what I call one of my very easy dinners at the moment, so I consider pasta to be one of the easier meals to make. So on the skillet, I just put on some butter and I am going to chop up some onions and fry up the onions and then add some garlic to that. Again, I'm not doing anything too complicated. So yeah, it's been a while since I last posted, and I have been working on several different projects, and a lot of things have been going on in my life. One reason why I haven't posted is that I've just been traveling so much. So I had traveled to Spain and Germany for a few weeks in April, and I visited Madrid, Toledo, Segovia, Berlin, Hamburg, Munich, and I really enjoyed my time there. But while I was traveling, obviously I wasn't spending a lot of time cooking. It was more about eating and enjoying myself. So that took up most of my April, and then coming back after that, it's just taken some time for me to get back in my groove. Then a few weeks ago, I was in Chicago for a weekend for IML, and I saw a lot of people there, which is great. And I am now getting settled to spend essentially the summer at home, where I can get back to cooking and basically writing recipes and trying out new food. So today again is going to be just a pasta dish. Really, you can use whatever pasta you have. I'm going to be using macaroni because that's what I want to get rid of. So there's a few things that I am working on at the moment. I had my first, I don't want to say my, I had my first, let's say, episode of a podcast that I'm launching called Leather and Spice. The first episode is available on YouTube. It's also, if you just want the audio, it's also on Spotify. And it was filmed originally on Instagram Live. So that was a great experience. I did it with my friend Guy, who goes by the handle The Leather Coach. And yeah, I mean, we really just talked about our journeys, and the conversation was very much unscripted. But I find that every time that he and I speak, usually, we end up having a really good time talking about different things that we're working through or different observations. And so I enjoyed that. I am in the process at the moment of two additional people that are interested in doing that project with me. So going forward, my idea is that probably once or twice a month, I'm going to be holding an Instagram Live with someone in the Leather King community and, having a conversation with them. They may have a more specific niche that they want to talk about. But that's the goal, is to develop a space where people can have earnest and honest conversations, talk about difficult subjects, and for there to be an archive of this. So that's one thing that I've been wanting to do, something like a podcast for several years, and I have already all the equipment that I need. I have a microphone. I know how to use technology on my computer. So it was fairly easy to actually do. Um, so I'm looking forward to doing that more and having additional guests on the show and for them to share their story. I think that would be really important. What else is going on? I've been mostly active on Instagram, and that's where I feel like the algorithm treats me the best, and so I have been favoring Instagram the most lately. Um, it's so hard with all these different platforms to know exactly what's the best way to gain either followers or views or so forth. So I'm trying to just hit different platforms and see what sticks. So that's the idea there. I've had some time to do updates on my website. There's going to be more updates that are coming down the line. But I go through spurts. I would say probably every season or so, I put in a few hours and change things on my websites. So I've added a few new shirts, some hats, some apparel, things like that. I reorganized my website, so now there's like a news section, like a news link, so that it's a way for me to kind of summarize some of the things that I did each month and share what's going on that way. Let's see, where's my pasta? So I changed my mind. I feel like this Orecchiette is calling me today, so that's what we're going to make. I already have a pot of boiling salted water, so I'm just going to be adding that to that. If you're interested in participating in one of these Instagram lives that I'm doing, just let me know. And you can either leave a comment here, but the best way to get in contact with me directly is typically through Instagram or sending me a message on my website. There's like a contact me form on theleathercook.com, and that goes to my email. So that's usually one of the more direct ways to get in contact with me. Instagram lately has been kind of weird with its messages that if I'm not following you, um, lately I can't even access that particular mailbox. It goes into a separate mailbox, but lately I've been having a hard time for it to even load. So keep that in mind. Yeah, so that's kind of the idea at the moment. I'm still in this process of seeing where this goes, trying to monetize it. There was a period of time where Instagram was giving me some money for the reels that I was putting up, and the money was dependent upon the number of views that I got on the reels each month. But that program ended a few months ago, about in March, and I would say that's something that kind of derailed my motivation. I have been creating a lot for that particular reason, and after they stopped that program, uh, it was right before I went traveling, and so it's been about 3 months of me trying to figure out or kind of find my motivation once again. Another thing that I haven't really shared anywhere, and still something I'm kind of processing, is that earlier this year, starting in late December, but mostly January and February, I had gone through something pretty traumatic where I lost my voice for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and it was a pretty harrowing time. I was diagnosed with a vocal cord paralysis in February and received a treatment which was like an injection into my vocal cord. And that took away my voice completely. Like right after the injection, I lost my voice. Before that, I was able to speak in a very hushed tone, but it was very breathy. And it was something that for every breath that I took, I could probably only say about 4 words. So I, during that time, any videos that I made was completely voiceless. And that was one reason why I stopped putting up videos, long form videos on YouTube, because I actually was handicapped at that point and didn't have the ability to speak. It's been a journey for me to regain my voice, and that has been a really motivating factor. Once you lose your voice, you realize how much you use it, and you realize what a gift it is. And I find it inspiring and motivating now that I have my voice again to use it, and to use it for good. So that's something that has really been that has colored this whole year for me. And if you notice that my voice sounds different, that is why. Um, this is something that uh, it takes 6 to 12 months, is when the majority of the recovery happens, and I'm on my 6th month. So I would say that the majority of my ability to speak has come back. However, I can't really raise my voice as I once did, and I've become more aware of the ways that I abused my voice, and uh, patterns that I had, habits that I had with my voice that were quite unhealthy, and that led me to losing my voice many times in the past. So it has been a way for me to take ground into these practices that were kind of just like subconscious, and to change it. So that's something that I've been really processing. One reason why I have been a lot less active on really all my social media for the past 6 months, because it's been a journey. Okay, so back to the meal. I have some bratwurst. So I'm going to cut up this bratwurst and add it to the fried onions. And, this is something this is a very easy meal. Like, I'm not really doing that much hard work. Um, and I will have food for dinner or lunch for a few days, which comes in handy. Work has been quite stressful on my end lately, and to have um, a pretty filling meal that I can easily go to when I am hungry really makes the difference. I find that I can easily get stressed out when I'm in the middle of the workday and may not have enough like easy and nutritious food at hand. So I always try to make sure that there's at least one thing in my fridge that's substantial that I can always go to. If I don't have a lot of time, something that I can just like put in the microwave if need be. Uh, and this is going to be that meal this week. All right, let's add this. Wash our hands. There we go. All right, let's try the pasta, see how far along it is. Yeah, it's not there yet. I'm guessing it's gonna be 5 more minutes, maybe. Okay. The other thing that I need to get rid of in my fridge is this parsley. I find that for me, pasta is kind of the equivalent of like a curry dish, in that whatever I have in my fridge, I kind of just hobble together with some pasta, and it's usually pretty reasonable. So I think parsley will be a nice addition to this. Just want to wash off some of this. So some other things that I'm dreaming about and hoping that I have the time coming up to work towards uh, is doing some books. I have decided this year that I was going to at least start looking at self-publishing a book, and so I created an account. I already have a good draft that has many recipes, and what I am debating at the moment is how I want the book organized. Whether I want the book to be organized by kind of a menu, whether I want it to be organized by season, or some other method. So these are things that are going on in my mind. That once I find something that really speaks to me, I'm going to go full force on it. And I'm expecting that I will have more time come July and August just because uh, the major travel that I have for this year has already happened. Um, I have a small trip in July and then a little bit longer trip in August, but I do think that it's not going to be as distracting, let's say, as going to Germany. So that's another project that I am working towards, and going to see how that goes. And again, it's all about just trying these different venues, these different ideas, and seeing what connects with people, what they enjoy consuming, and yeah. I think it needs 1 or 2 more minutes. Another thing that just happened recently, this past weekend, was Pride here in Syracuse, New York, and I organized the leather contingent in that Pride parade. So that was also like where a lot of my energy was going towards, just making sure that word was getting out and just preparing for that. And we had a great turnout. We had um, about 10 or 11 people this year march with us. And the crowd was very receptive, very friendly. And yeah, it was very, very good. So I was very happy about that. I feel a sense of relief now that that's over. I feel like I'm kind of relaxing back into my home and yeah, falling back into things. All right, let's get this pasta drained. Before I drain pasta, I always just take like a teacup and always capture just some of the pasta water because that can be a good base for any sauce that you end up using. Um, Sometimes you may not even need it, but I always think it's good to have it as a reserve because of the starchiness of the water. So when I said that this was an easy dinner, I don't think I was lying. I was at the store the other day and I bought this little jar of pesto. Of course, I could take the time to make pesto, but again, I feel kind of lazy, and I want you guys to know that it's okay when you are feeling lazy to use pre-processed ingredients like this. It's fine. So I'm gonna just add this to the pasta. And one thing that I always do, another tip, every time I have like a glass container like this, I always keep it. I wash it out, I keep it, and I buy most of my like dried fruit and grains. I buy them bulk, right? And so I always use this for storage. This could be a nice little container for like um, cardamom pods or vanilla pods or vanilla beans rather. So again, I think a lot of people jump into recycling. But remember, if you can reuse it, reuse it. So we have the pesto. I think I'm gonna go and add some additional things. So one thing that I like to do sometimes, which uh, the woman at the Korean store was like, "What?" Um, is I like to use this soybean paste, and I use this not only when I traditionally will use it in like a tomato based pasta sauce, but it can also be fine to just include it in with the fried onions and so forth. So I just take like a spoonful or so, and I'm gonna just mix that in. The Korean shop owner was telling me that she typically would just like dip vegetables in this, and she was kind of surprised that I like to use it in pasta, but I think it brings like a new umami type of flavor to it. So I highly recommend this. Again, if you have any um, Asian specialty store near you, that's where you'll pick this up. You probably won't find it in many grocery stores, but specialty food stores that focus on Asian cuisine, you'll find it there. And I think that it's a wonderful thing to have in your fridge. Um, and I'm gonna add some of the pasta water to just make a little sauce. Another thing that I like to do when I'm being lazy and making pasta is I like to use squid. This is another thing that comes from the Asian food store. This it's just called seasoned squid, and it it has a slightly different texture and taste to the soybean paste that I added. Um, but if you are making a tomato-based sauce, this is a great thing to add if you like squid. Um, it could also be used here, again, to add texture and a slightly different taste. As you can see, I'm just taking things that are already in my fridge and just like putting them in. Again, pasta to me is like, you know, the Italian version of curry. All right, so I'm gonna let that simmer just for a few more minutes and then just put it together. So going forward, I would love to know what types of videos you all are interested in. I've tried different types of videos, whether that is product reviews, whether that is strictly recipes, or some conversational pieces. And I would love to have some feedback from you all about what types of videos you enjoy watching, and if there's particular either content or areas that you are interested in. Um, if you want more videos like this, where it's kind of just like me talking in stream of consciousness, uh, I could do that as well. That is, just let me know what you're into. Um, I have many new cookbooks that I am planning to work through this summer, and that is something also that's probably going to be inspiring me. I recently got a cookbook that focuses on mainly desserts from Romania, and I've cooked or I've prepared a few things from that. There's some recipes on Instagram that I've done. Now one was like a simple donut recipe. Another one was like it was a complicated recipe. Came out really good. It was like a hazelnut prune bar with a meringue topping, and I was pretty satisfied with how that came out. The dough was a little bit of a challenge, but I found that modifying their recipe and adding some iced water solved the issue. So that was good. And I had many recipes in that book flagged that once I get a free weekend, um, I will start working on that as well. I'm also revisiting some favorite recipes, uh, just because there's certain recipes, one in mind is on strawberries. Now that it's strawberry season, I'm going back to that and um, and trying that out again. Okay, let's put this all together. Don't want to burn my hand, so I'm gonna have to put on a glove. All right, so here we have it. I've been recording for under 40 minutes, and so if you're looking for a meal that takes you less than an hour, here you have one. So again, in this bowl is some freshly made orecchiette. Well, I didn't actually roll it out, but I just boiled it in water. We got some bratwurst in this, fried onions, fried garlic, parsley, and then the sauce is a mixture of pesto, of soybean paste, and of seasoned squid with the water that was used to make the pasta. I also, in the middle, added some cheese. I had some cheese, I forget what it was, in it. So, if you happen to have something akin to Parmesan or has that the type of flavor or texture, certainly add that in if you're into that. Yeah, so I am going to go and enjoy my pasta and watch some TV, relax, and I hope to see you all in the future. And again, you can always find me on other social media platforms such as Instagram, um, Twitter, so forth. I really appreciate when you all are sharing my content. It helps other people find me, especially leaving comments and liking is really appreciated. So I hope you all have a good day and take care of yourself. Cheers.